Welcome to Our Healer and Our Protector with Ryan and Lisa. This will be our first episode, so we are super excited to welcome you on our journey because it's the journey, not the destination. And we're going to talk about why this podcast exists, who we are, and how to get in touch with us in the future. So, Lisa, I'll turn it over to you, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, everybody. I am super excited today. I am here with Ryan Reichert, and I am Lisa Sander. I'm super excited. This is a new journey for us, starting on our podcast. I have been a nurse, a proud nurse of 24 years and continuing. And I have 2 children, Jack and Grace, who I am so proud of. Ryan and I want to be here to inspire others and to tell our story. There's a lot to our story, as everyone out there, you all have a story. And my biggest thing in life, if I had to do a dream, and that's to inspire others and how to come out of something hard and still get up every day and give you your best self.
Awesome.
And Ryan, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so Ryan T. Reichert from the mighty metropolis of Hoople, North Dakota, circa 1978. And this journey is going to be amazing. I spent 23 years in the United States Army. I got to do a lot of cool things. I was an airborne ranger in the infantry. And that was some good times. And I appreciated being able to serve our country and continue to protect our freedoms that we get to have here. I'm also a father of 2 girls. Laura and Boo, I love you guys very much. I miss you. Very proud of you as well. And you're 2 amazing young women. Basically, I guess, like before I turn it back over to you, Lisa, our mission is, helping people heal. Both Lisa and I are, 2 that have gone through the trials of divorce and that process. And it's certainly a journey where there's necessary healing for everyone. Not just our spouses, but our children, our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, and so on and so forth. So we want to break those family curses and the cycles and so forth. It was some of our fears maybe in a previous life that was something that, we maybe were a little too loyal at times. And, so we want to work through that and understand that, we need to love ourselves first. Self-care is the most important care because, if we don't care for ourselves, it's hard to care for others. And then we'll certainly talk about our faith. Our faith is extremely important to us. And that message will be weaved in and out throughout each of our episodes. So with that being said, Lisa, you want to kind of take us back through what 25 years of being a nurse in Minnesota looks like?
Oh my gosh, it has been the most amazing journey. I started off at Mayo Clinic on Joseph 2B, I believe. And then we moved to Francis 2C, and I had an amazing manager, Chris, who inspired me and all the people that I worked with that became family friends on the weekends. And I still see them on Facebook, which I love. They helped me start my journey. I kind of kept Mayo at the high standards of all the hospitals I went to. I started off full-time my first year. And then I had a friend, Carrie, who said, let's do agency nursing. And that started my journey of being strong, bold, courageous, and facing fears. So I was an agency nurse for 8 years. I worked in almost every hospital in the Twin Cities. I've worked in Fergus Falls and started my interventional radiology journey, worked at St. Joe's, and now I'm currently at Maple Grove Hospital, which I am very proud and very excited about this new journey. I continue to do nursing. I have always had something more to do. I've always felt this where I needed to start a business or something more to inspire others. My Christian faith has gotten me through everything in life, which you will hear throughout our podcast. The journey has not, it's been bumpy, like everybody's life, right? But my faith in God has gotten me through all of that and brought me here today on this podcast. And I'm really excited for my new journey to inspire others and do God's work.
That's amazing. It's one of those that, and this will come out over many episodes, but yeah, Lisa's faith, really the strongest I've ever witnessed in almost my half century of living. And She's helped me heal through my journey and my process of going through the divorce and how that can be such a tough thing. Yeah, for me, my military experience started, late 1999 in ROTC at the University of North Dakota. And then I was fortunate enough to go to Fort Benning, Georgia. We call it the School for Boys, the home of the infantry. And I went through all my training there where became, airborne ranger, infantry officer basic course. And then actually went to Hawaii, which sounds amazing, right? Like, holy cows, you get to go to Hawaii for your first duty station. But with that, we know it was after 9/11, and shortly thereafter, went to Afghanistan for my first deployment. Then you go back to the School for Boys, you take some more courses, some more training. And then I went to Fort Lewis, Washington, where I ended up commanding a company, actually the one you see in the background here. So Apache Company, 123 Infantry, an amazing group of young men, and super proud of them. We went to Iraq, and one of those things, when you got to do bad things to bad people, it's just what we do. And it's all about serving others. And, obviously Lisa as a nurse and me as a soldier. It's one of those that, we've given our lives, our professional lives and our personal lives to serving others, to try to help. And that's what we want to continue to do. We want to continue to help those, who are suffering, because the greatest change can come from that pain. You can actually, create a catalyst inside of you that allows you to, I call it the war of purpose, or the war of your purpose. And it's basically to become a better person, that person that God wants you to be, the talents that he put inside of you to make a difference, to be that change. Don't continue to play small, call it comfortably uncomfortable, because if you're comfortably comfortable, you're probably just sitting on the couch, eating a tub of ice cream, gaining that 50 pounds that nobody wants to have, like I did after I retired from the Army. And, so it's one of those things. And basically the next 10 years of my military career is very similar to the first 10 I told you about. We moved quite a bit, went back to Hawaii, went back to Washington, spent some time in Kansas, and, a few more deployments. And it's one of those that you understand that as you develop yourself, and this is something for both Lisa and I with, our businesses that, we've created. She has Our Healer Restoration, and I have Our Protector Development. You can look at the science side of it and say, Our Protector, yeah, got it. You were a soldier, you're an airborne ranger, and so forth. And Lisa was a nurse, as our healer. But for us, it's more giving back and knowing that, God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, is our healer and our protector. And, when we're finding ourselves in that valley, as you go through, even if you're just dating somebody and you're going through a breakup, let alone a divorce or a separation, or maybe even death, like you lost someone, we're going to be here to talk through these tough problems. We'll have people on the show that have went through all of this and what comes out of it, because there's actually a beautiful thing that comes out of it. And we'll dive deeper into that as we move through the next number of episodes. I don't know, 1,000 episodes, right? You got to aim high, so you can miss small. And it's one of those aspects that I think that's a lot of what our listeners can expect moving forward.
Yeah, I'm super excited. You talking about our healer and our protector. I think of healer as me being a nurse and a protector, as you serving our country. But when I think of our God, and through all of us, God has given us gifts. And if we can find that gift and inspire others and do good unto others, that is what I want out of this. I want to do more. I want to give myself to others. And I think the biggest thing that I can do to help is inspiring and getting people to do the things that they are meant to do. Ryan, you're one of them, and I'm so proud of you and so excited. We talked about writing books, and I've always wanted to write a book different ways. I wanted to write about my faith and my journey. And then there's a side of me, I'm like, oh, I would love to tell a love story, a fictional too, just different things. But Ryan, you started writing books, and that is so amazing. And as a man, as a veteran, showing your vulnerability and the ways that you can help not just veterans, but everybody in the second chance at life. God gives us many chances, and he will let us start over every single day. And that's what I want to inspire others to do.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Lise. Definitely, yeah, it wasn't something that I thought I'd be doing. I thought I'd ride retirement after the divorce and being laid off from a Fortune 500 company that I just, it was Kenny Chesney, like my toes in the sand kind of thing. Started writing back, I think it was 30 December. And that was actually the day I think I received the final, divorce decree stamped off. And the good Lord said, hey, you're going to go on this journey and write 3 books. And, on June 3rd, the first one will come out. It's called God Only Knows When the Devil Comes for You, A Second Chance at Life. And it's a reflection of, time through my life, time through my marriage, time through my military career that kind of developed some tools that can help all of us. I'm a recovering alcoholic and prescription drug addict. So I do suffer from some demons there. And it's one of those that every day I'm grateful when I wake up that the Lord's blessed me with another day. And I'm even that more proud of what that starting off on the right foot can look like. When I go to bed, I'm hitting the right side of the bed as well, so I can wake up again. We're about any child of God who's tired of whatever cycle you're on, whatever's going through your life. I know sometimes can be really hard. You don't know, if the paycheck's going to make it, to the next week or however often you get paid. You don't know where that next meal maybe is coming from. You might be getting evicted. You're ready to heal, because that's the thing. If we actually heal ourselves, we're that much bigger, stronger, better as we build ourselves back up. And then the other side of it is the truth. Are you searching for the real truth in everything? Not the candy coated, sugar coated, whatever BS out there. Are you really looking for honest, hard discussions? So the best possible thing can happen. If we just do the next right best thing, everything in life is it's not perfect, but that's as good as it's going to be. And, if we can't be honest with ourselves, I guess it's one of those things where, I held a lot of stuff inside me over the years, and I didn't tell the truth. I was great at making up big stories and, pumping myself up because I was ashamed of who I was for whatever reason. And we all have some form of an addiction inside of us, that devil that'll come out. And, we want to break those barriers down and put our foot down so we can get off the merry-go-round.
And you just hit something, being authentic and telling the truth and having hard conversations is something that I have grown to do. I take pride in that. I'm also going through divorce. So when we're talking on here, there's stuff happening. Our life is not rosy. I'm selling my house that I've lived in for 13 years. I was going to be stubborn and not sell it, but now I'm going to sell it so I can have some freedom and show my kids that change is okay. And I've been okay with change. This one's a little harder, but my faith through God and saying my prayers and reading the Bible and having wonderful people around me supporting me gives me strength for that. And I want to show my kids what hard is and what strength is, and believing in God and where He can take you.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So I guess here's the real, put your money where your mouth is, and, let's subscribe to Our Healer, Our Protector with Ryan and Lisa. You can go to www.ourprotectordevelopment.com, and Lisa's getting hers going too. So it'll be www.ourhealerrestoration.com. And you can find out more for, any of our services that we do provide, in leadership and consultation or, healing consultation, at Our Protector Development on Instagram. And we got some really cool stuff that's happening. We'll also be at the Lake Coeur d'Alene Summit at the beginning of June in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So we'll be out there, loving to connect, loving to hear your story. I know there's a story in all of us, and it's one of those aspects that if I can write a book, anybody can write a book. And as children of God, we got to love each other. And I know Lisa and I love you. So with that, Lisa, just you can say goodbye, and then we'll close out episode 1.
Super excited. Can't wait to do more. Can't wait to meet people and see where God's journey takes us. So, bye.
See ya.